Yep, ladies and gentlemen, Wismec, they're on the up and up and up with their newest product, and that product is called the Relo RX2 2700 Gnome Kit. So this RX2, the RX2, she's a dual battery mod, dual 18650 you can run her in, or dual 2700. Big pro that you have those options. Also, super ergonomic. You know, this feels like something in between the RX2 3 and 2 mode and the RX3. This mod right here is a tiny bit taller than the RX3, but it's also a little bit shorter than the RX2 3, like right in the middle of those two devices I just mentioned. Got a little bit less ass than the RX3, obviously, because that's a triple battery. Triple 18650 battery that mod is, but this one's a dual, so it's going to have a little bit less ass, but it seems like it's a little bit wider on the sides. It's all about what you're looking for, right? The fire button is big, comfy, and clicky, a lot bigger than the RX2 3 or even the RX3. The RX2 3 and the RX3 have the same size fire button. This one is just a lot bigger, man. You'll see it in the close-ups, a lot bigger. Like I said, it's nice and clicky. Woo, it just feels good. The menu screen for this device, it's the exact same, pretty much the exact same as the RX3. Again, I'll post a link down in the description to the RX3 video if you want to check it out. I'm not going to go into any detail for this menu screen because I've already done so with the RX3, but you got temperature options, you got nickel, titanium, stainless steel, TCR, you got regular wattage, all the other options that you do for the RX3 you got with this, pretty much. I don't think you have a logo option with this, but I think you do with the RX3. Go watch that video. Oh yeah, but there's one major difference between this RX2 and the RX3 I just mentioned. Okay, this has 100 less watts than the RX3. Remember, that's a triple battery mod. This is a dual battery mod. The 510 connection on this RX2 is just as solid as the 510 connection on the RX3. Both, man, have not had any issues. Not like the Predator 228. This has just been the opposite. Phenomenal 510 connection. All of your 24 and 25 millimeter devices are going to sit pretty much flush. There may be a slight bit of gap. You'll see this in the close-ups, but other than that, from afar, it looks great. It really does. And with your 24 and 25 millimeter devices, you're not going to have any overhang. You know what? With a 25, you may have slight overhang off the front, but it's nothing very noticeable. Personally, I'm flipping digging this dual battery sled. You got this little tack down here at the base. You get your thumbnail in there. That sucker pops out. The sled pops out like so. There's your dual 2700 batteries. Oh yeah, the dual 2700 batteries are not included with this kit, just letting you know. But you slide that sled right back in there. It clicks into place and you're good to go, ready to vape. Oh yeah, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Next pro for this kit, love that you have color options. You could choose the green, the black, you could choose black and black, or you could choose gray and black. 3 that I've seen. They probably have more colors coming. But the fact that you do have color options, that's a biggie. Next, the sub-ohm tank that comes with this. Just like with the RX3, it's the same exact sub-ohm tank, the Gnome Tank, man. I am a big fan of this sub-ohm tank. I think it's a big win. If you go back and watch the RX3 video, I go over all the pros and all the cons for this tank. There's really hardly any cons that I found for this tank. That's how good the sub-ohm tank is in my opinion. But yeah, go back and watch the RX3 kit video when you're done watching this because I go over details for this Gnome Tank. But I'm a big fan of it. I think it's great. Personally, I like this kit more than the RX3 kit because I think this is moving in the right direction with the 2700 batteries. But again, all this is going to be subjective, and I'm always going to mention that. The way this thing vapes, man, with this Gnome Tank, with the freaking kit, all together, it's just phenomenal. I cannot believe the vape quality that you're getting off these products nowadays compared to when I started. It's nuts, dude. If you're a newbie watching, goddamn, you got it made. But yeah, I like this better than the RX3. I like the 2700 batteries. I think it's moving in the right direction. Hell, I like the 21700 batteries. They're a little bit bigger, but you get way more battery life. And I think that's what we're all going for. But yeah, the vape quality for this, obviously that depends on the tank you put on here or the atomizer you put on here. But with the way everything comes with this kit, it's great, man. Alrighty, so here's the packaging this Relo RX2 2700 comes in. And of course, inside that packaging, you're going to receive your Gnome sub-ohm tank, an extra coil head, an extra tinted glass tube, and this Delrin drip tip. Now, I'm going to go ahead and mention this. I'm not going to go into any detail for this Gnome sub-ohm tank or the accessories because I've already done so in the RX3 video. So if you're interested in this Gnome sub-ohm tank with all the extras that come with it, go ahead and watch the RX3 video. Link is in the description. But yeah, inside that packaging, you're going to also receive this Relo RX2 2700 mod, a USB cable for charging and upgradable firmware. Hey, and check this out. You also get these 2 battery tubes if you want to run this sucker in dual 18650 mode. You receive a warning card, a coil head instructional guide, and you get this tank and mod user manual. As far as measurements go, she's 82mm by 43mm by 31mm. On the front, as you guys can see, you got this big Jabo fire button. This is probably my favorite Jabo fire button to date. Love how big it is. Feels good. You got your nice size mini screen. It's the exact same mini screen as the RX Gen 3, except with this one, you get 100 less watts. That's pretty much the only difference, guys. But yeah, you got your mini screen in the middle, your wattage up waters down button down below that, and then you got your USB port down below that for charging and upgradable firmware. At the top of this device, you have a 510 connection, stainless steel 510 thread, spring-loaded 510 pin, and also this is press-fitted just like the RX Gen 3 with a plate on top, so you're not going to have any issues with the 510 connection coming out. I guarantee it. Also over here, it says Relo RX2 2700. Oh yeah, and then on the front side of this device, you have these little slots, right? That's for battery venting or to keep this device cooler as well, and I think that these slots look way better than the RX Gen 3 slots, but all this is going to be subjective, and I'm always going to mention that. At the base of this device, as you guys can see, it says Wismec. You got the Wismec logo, and then you got this little button. You get your fingernail in here, and you pull this, and this battery sled comes out, and this battery sled, this whole side of this device, that's where your 2700 batteries, your 18650 batteries go. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pull this sucker. Slides right out like so, and there she is. I'm holding 2700 batteries. I'm not holding, the sled's holding 2700 batteries, but like I said, you could use those battery tubes and pop your dual 18650s in there. Pretty freaking cool. So here's what the mod looks like without the sled in there. Everything is nice and clean, and if you look through the front, those slots, you see daylight. You see that? That's for the battery venting. So yeah, once you have your batteries assembled in your sled, what you got to do is just pop this sucker on there, slide it together, and it clicks into place. Just like so. So you're going to press from the bottom, and then you have this little notch right here, and it clicks into the top. Here, I'm going to show you again. You release it, pull this sucker out. You see that little notch right there? So that notch is going to click into that notch up there. Just like so. And the sled ain't going anywhere. It's not shaking, it's not rattling, but I also want to point out, you got a little space right here, okay? See that? There it is, that little space. Hear that? That's what's making that noise. Does it affect the connection? No, not one bit. I get a solid connection with this device. That definitely may be a con to some of you guys. That's why I got to point it out. Oh yeah, and here's what the inside of the battery sled looks like. It doesn't look super clean and shiny. Not like most devices. That may be another con. Just being nitpicky. So here's a little size comparison. I got the RX Gen 3 in this hand, and then I got the RX2 2700 in this hand. And check it out. The RX2 2700 is definitely taller, but the RX Gen 3 is wider. So here's a size comparison between this RX2 2700 with the RX2 3 in 2 mode. The RX2 3 in 2 mode is definitely taller than this RX2 2700, but the RX2 2700 is wider. It's hard to see it on camera, but you can definitely see them when you match them like that. You see that? And here's what the RX2 2700 kit looks like, all assembled with a Gnome Tank on there. I'll tell you what, looks the tits. And this Gnome Tank being 25mm, I mean, she sits flush. I consider that pretty darn flush. See that close up? Maybe slightly bit of overhang if you want to get real, yeah, a little bit, just a little bit, tiny. So your 24 and 25mm devices are going to look great on here. 26, there's going to be a little bit overhang off the front. Personally, I like this device better than the RX Gen 3. I think it looks better. I like how the fire button's bigger. I don't need 300 watts. Hell, I don't need 200 watts or even 100 watts. But again, all this is going to be subjective, and I'm always going to mention that. So the only two cons that I found for this kit, the mod, pretty much the mod, okay, that's what it is, okay? The first one is that the battery sled, there is a little bit of play. Hear this. It's not horrible. It's not like there's battery rattle or button rattle, but the sled does move up and down against the top. Got to point that out to you guys. And then the second con that I found, this does not include 2700 batteries. And my thoughts behind it is, if the iDrill Captain included 2700 batteries with their kit, why not Wismec? It's not like 18650 batteries where every site or every brick and mortar's got them. 2700 batteries are more elusive. They're more difficult to get. So the companies that offer options like 2700 compatibility or 21700 compatibility should include the batteries. That's just my opinion. Price point, price point, price point. $60 is what I'm seeing online. I'll post links down in the description of the sites that I know of that are credible, that will be or are carrying this thing right now. Now on to the big question, the big answer today. Who do I think this is meant for? This is for the vapor looking for a 2700 battery mod, dual 2700 battery mod, or a dual 18650 battery mod. This is for someone looking for a temperature control device, a regular wattage device, a TCR device, something that comes with a nice sub ohm tank. It's got different color options. That's ergonomic. It's got all the other stuff that I just mentioned. If you're looking for all that, well then get this puppy chucker. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, liked it, found it entertaining and helpful. If you did like this video, then please like it down below. Hit that like button and share it for all your friends to see. And if you want to see more of me, then subscribe for more. This is Rip Chippers, and remember, smoking is dead, vaping is the future, and the future is now.